Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon in Rumple's Path, and we are just in chapter 7. Yay, we still haven't gotten our second good deed, so... But we just learned that our mother is a witch! We already knew, obviously, but, like, she didn't in this path yet, but now we know. So anyway. And Rumple's fiance was a cheating whore. Who was also a bitch. Who may also be a witch. I don't know. Find out. That would be devastating for him, though. Ah, my fiance was a witch, and now the girl I'm in love with is a witch. Ah, poor Rumple. I feel bad for him. Anyway. Oh my god, this is how this starts. Oh, Rumple. And you, my little sunflower, are just as radiant as always. Oh my, Rumple. It's like that whole thing with Bria never happened. He's back to flattering every woman he meets. Overthinking again, princess. I turn to see Karma grinning at me from where he sits at a table. Surprisingly, he's sitting with Jurian and Garland today, who were arguing about some kind of night stance. It's none of your business. No, it's not, but you have such a sad look on your face, I had to ask. I'd appreciate you not staring at my face. I don't need to stare to see that you're in distress. I turn on my heels and begin to walk away, irritated. Even when I'm among other people, it's impossible to forget the conversation I had with Parfait and Delora. It hovers at the back of my mind constantly. We've not spoken again since then, yet even now, I'm still taking in what they told me before. My mother, the Tenenbaum bearer, and me, a witch. The reason others have always feared me is because of my blood. I suppress a sigh as I attempt to return to my work. As the days go by, I notice myself becoming more and more agitated. Half of it's the recent history lesson, and the other half is Rumple's flirting with other women. How can he just snap his fingers and get over Bria so quickly? If he flatters every woman, does that mean he doesn't really mean the things he says to me? I gather the plates off the counter and put them on a tray and take them to customers. Today, everything feels mechanical. For the last few days, I've been noticing that I walk more stiffly, and that if I walk too quickly, my vision blurs. Probably because of my overthinking. I stumble as I bring a tray to a familiar customer. The man looks up at me and asks if I'm okay, and I murmur that I am before walking off. The blurriness comes back. What is wrong with me? I look over at Rumple, who's at a table with 2 girls because his shift is over. Rather than boil over on the inside, I feel myself getting warmer on the outside. My skin feels clammy. I have to force myself to take a breath as I get the next round of orders. My last order for the day is for one of the girls at Rumple's table. I don't want to go over there. I start carrying the tray towards the table, biting down on my lip as the sway comes back into my step. As I draw closer, I notice Rumple and the girls laughing about something. I grit my teeth and pause in front of them and lay down the tray. This isn't mine. It's my friend's. Yes, I was the one who ordered the soup. The 2 stare at me. Instead of handing the soup off, they wait for me to move the bowl. But before I can reach over and move it, Rumple slides it over to the other girl himself. For a few moments, there's a fragment of a scowl on his face. How are you doing today, my sweet princess? When I think about speaking, the words catch feebly in my throat. I turn to walk off. Princess. Still as cold as ice. The title Ice Princess definitely suits her. How can you dote on her, Rumple? Despite the numbness of my mind, I still feel angry. I turn around so quickly that I make myself stumble. I feel myself teetering on the edge of falling, but something stops me. Warm hands reach out to grab mine before I can fall. Through my dizziness, I can see Rumple standing in front of me. Princess, look at me. He puts a hand under my chin and angles my head so I can see him better. The expression on his face is suddenly serious. He looks at me for a few moments before he places a hand on my forehead. Princess, you have a fever. A really high fever, actually. You should go back to your room and rest. I'll drop by with some medication in a few minutes after I say goodbye to those ladies. I'm fine. My voice comes out hoarse. Trying to clear my throat only makes me feel more miserable. Princess, you're not fine. You look like you're about to collapse. I will not collapse. I'm stronger than that. Mother taught me how to be strong. Mother... My thoughts become scrambled. Once again, my mind wanders, but this time I cannot keep myself steady as I try to walk away. Putting one foot in front of the other proves to be too difficult, and I once again feel myself starting to stumble. Then I feel warmth, this time arms instead of hands. Sweet little princess, what am I going to do with you? Oh, how fucking adorable! He's holding us like a doll because she looks so tiny in his arms. Jesus. Before I can understand what's happening, I'm lifted off my feet. I feel an arm supporting my back and another supporting me beneath the crook of my knees. Warmth. Such a nice warmth. You really are stubborn, aren't you, Princess Spacey? I guess I'll just have to carry you up myself. I so want to lean against him, but we are supposed to struggle. God, I want to fucking lean against him. I cannot just let him carry me up like this. I attempt to move away from him, but my whole body is weak. It's all I can do to try to roll out of his arms, but even that doesn't work. If you fall, you'll get a bump on your head, you know. I'm not weak. I do not need anyone to take care of me. There are voices, an indistinct chattering behind him that belongs to the girls. Rumple speaks in a low voice. Stubborn as she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've ever known. He pulls me closer to him, and I feel his chest at my head, then his heartbeat. I know you're strong, princess. Stronger than anyone else, even. But because you're so strong, I know you'll never admit to needing help. And that's why I'm going to help you without your permission. I'm sorry. Slowly, I let myself settle in his arms. I lean my head into his chest and listen to his heartbeat. It's a gentle, sweet sound that makes me feel like drifting into slumber. So warm. Ah, but not as warm as you are right now, princess. Oh. His voice slowly begins to fade out as I close my eyes. For the time being, I stop caring about everything else around me. I forget about Mother, about my talk with Delore and Parfait, about the crystal, the Marsh End, and I focus on Rumple. It is so selfish to want to be the only person held like this by him. Is it so selfish to want to be the only person held like this by him, even when he was engaged to someone before? Slumber slowly reaches up to claim me, darkness intermingling with warmth. In that last moment, I think I see Rumple smile at me.
Mother, Mother, I have to tell you something about the fairy tale that the children read to me today.
Spacey, what did I tell you about the fairy tales?
But there was a princess, just like me. She found her Prince Charming and...
Fairy tales are not real.
But they make really good stories, Mother.
They're false stories. Do you really think it would be so easy to live happily ever after?
No, but...
Fairy tales make things black and white. Real life is full of grays.
Black and white?
Good and evil. No one is totally evil, and no one is totally good. Even princes are not completely just.
So princes and princesses can be... bad?
Spacey, everyone is darkness to them. The princes that throw themselves into danger are not selfless. They seek wealth, fame, or power. You see, fairy tales are lies because no one is selfless and so full of love. People are two-faced. There's kind of almost sort of has a point. People are shades of gray. Not everyone is just all good or all bad. She's getting a little extreme with it, but I'm just saying she's got like the underlying point is valid. Trust no one. I mean, I learned that from Fox Mulder, so I'm just saying.
Yes, Mother.
No one will love you like I do. To find pure love like that is impossible. Not true. We just found it with Rumple. I slowly blinked my eyes open and kind of had it with Rod and with Karma, all of our boys. For a few moments, the room is blurry, and there's nothing but vivid colors before my eyes. My eyes feel heavy, my throat scratchy. I stifle a cough as I blink back tears, and then through my tears, I notice a slight motion. Rumple? Rumple is slumped in a chair in front of my bed, his head lolled to the side, his eyes closed. He murmurs something in his sleep and then shifts. What is he doing here? I notice a notebook on his lap. And what is that journal? I slowly slide my hand out from underneath the covers and reach across the bed. Right as my fingers are about to brush the cover, Rumple's hand suddenly falls on mine. Looks like you're feeling better. He pulls his hand away along with the book before carefully setting my hand back down on the covers. At least you look better. But how do you feel? Better. Rumple looks tired, but his smile is still there. Oh, I won't believe it until I see it. You just said I looked better. That's my own analysis, but you, my sweet princess, don't sound very convinced. My throat is a little sore. I think if I stood up, I would fall over. Why do you look so surprised? You would usually never admit to such a thing, would you? You're still most definitely sick. Rumple leans forward to put a hand on my forehead. His hand is cool on my hot skin. Our eyes lock as he tests my temperature. After a few moments, he finally peels his eyes away from me and sits back in his chair. Your temperature is down, but you definitely need the rest, princess. You should go back to sleep. And what? Will you just sit there and watch me? The words come out curter than I meant them to, and for a moment Rumple looks surprised. Then he laughs. Princess, I haven't just been staring at you. I've been writing in my journal, too. You have such a scary look on your face. Not that that isn't enticing, but I think your smiles are much better. I sigh as I close my eyes for a few moments. I fight to put my scrambled thoughts together, but one thought in particular keeps resurfacing. For some reason, I cannot help but remember the snide woman standing by Rumple's side, jeering at me earlier. I open my eyes and look at Rumple. Those women from earlier. Oh, right. I apologize for their impoliteness. The things they said to you were uncalled for, and I told them that. You flirt with women like that all the time. But why? They're not even good people. Not good people? Well, I suppose they act differently when you're there. Princess Spacey, you're blind to their jealousy, aren't you? They're jealous of me? Why? My mind turns over what they could possibly be jealous about as my eyes fall on Rumple. I remember the way he defended me to the women. Is it because you're my partner? It's a lot more than that. It's your grace, the noble way you carry yourself, the fact that I'm in love with you. I mean, what? It's your grace, the fact that I'm in love with you, the noble way you carry yourself. What was that? The noble way you carry yourself? Before that, your grace. After that, the noble way you carry yourself. In between those two, I can't repeat that. They would never think I have those qualities. But where else would their jealousy stem from? They're just jealous that I take your attention away from them. Princess, I think you're... Even if they were nice people, I don't see how you can flirt with them when you're just recently in love with someone else. He wasn't recently. He fell out of love. She broke his heart. He's over her. Normally I would stop talking, but the words continue tumbling out of me. I don't understand how someone like you who had a fiancé could still be flirting with girls. How can you love someone if all you do is flirt with other girls? Flattery is one thing, but you can't just... How can you love... Oh, flatter every girl. I thought it moved the whole sentence. Oh my god. Why are you still smiling at me? I may not remember a lot of things, Princess, but I know for certain that whatever feelings I had for Bria vanished a long time ago. The good ones, at least. Rumple, the words break apart as I start coughing. Don't rile yourself up over this. Please, rest. I slowly lean back into my pillows with my eyes half closed. Why do I even care about what Rumple does? Why does it bother me that he flirts with other girls? That's his business. Rumple pulls the covers closer to my chin and smiles. Just because I flatter other women, it doesn't mean that I can't love someone. You always say some woman has stolen your heart, but your heart can't belong to everyone. Yet you told me you always speak the truth. Maybe that in itself is just a little white lie. It's just some harmless dramatics. But most girls know that I'm being dramatic, Princess. They don't take my words so seriously, even if I do mean my compliments. He stares at me for a few moments, thoughtful. Does it bother you so much that I compliment other girls? Of course not. Yes, a little bit. We're jealous. Oh, though it will be difficult to hold my tongue, I will do it for you, Princess. So don't worry. Why would he do something like that for me? My eyes are suddenly so heavy I have no choice but to close them as I let out a deep sigh. My head is beginning to hurt again. Behind my closed eyelids, I can hear soft shuffles as Rumple moves in his chair. Right before I fall back into the darkness of sleep, I feel something warm and soft on my forehead. Rumple? A goodnight kiss. Give us a kiss on her forehead. That's so cute. Oh my! That's so cute. His words are quiet, and I can only just barely make them out. I cannot think on them because the pull of sleep is much too tempting. Oh! It takes a while, but after several days, Rumple finally allows me to go back to work. I can't remember much of what happened when he was watching over me, especially that first day. It's all a little bit of a blur now, like it was all just a dream.
Ah, Princess, back up on your feet?
Yes, I'm fine now.
Oh, what a relief. Last I saw you, you looked quite pale.
When?
I dropped in to check on you in your room, but Rumple was there. He told me that he had everything under control.
Why did you need to check on me?
Because I was worried, of course. Maybe you've been working too hard.
No, I'm fine. Just tell me what things need to be done.
Are you sure you're okay?
She's fine, Anise. Dolores suddenly appears before me, smirking. The princess is sturdy and a little too stubborn to let a little sickness get her down. I've not spoken with Dolores or Parfait since that night where they decided to tell me about Mother. Just thinking about what they told me puts me on edge. Oh, princess, why the sour expression? Allow me to calm you down with a little lullaby. Excuse me? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Anise, give me those work orders now. Up above the world so high. Anise!
Oh, the tables on the west are yours, Princess Spacey.
I quickly walk away from the bar and catch only the last little bit of Dolores singing. Like a diamond in the sky. She sang that the night I was cursed. Hearing her sing it again is infuriating. The song slowly fades from my mind as I go about my work for the day. I'm still a little shaky on my feet, but not so much that I need to go back to bed. As I'm walking around the bar, I catch snatches of conversation as I serve food. I hear the king has been mediating arguments between his two advisors. That Mithros man. He reminds me of a snake, always smiling that slithery smile of his. That one and Alcester. Apparently there's been no end to their squabbles.
The king missed his monthly visit to town yesterday, didn't he? I wonder if he's sick. There's been no word from the palace, but I suppose he must have come down with something. Nothing would keep the king from visiting otherwise.
What is going on at the palace? You heard about the incident with the royal guard? Apparently lots of them have been getting dishonorably discharged. Found doing something to dishonor the king's name. Huh? Like what exactly? Not sure. The information is still under wraps. I'm walking forward, not watching where I'm going, when I collide with someone in my path. Feel a hand on my shoulder, and then another lifts my chin. Rumple. If it isn't the lovely princess, you're looking a lot peachier today. Because you're not as pale. Because the color's coming back into your skin. I'm still thinking of the king and the situation in the palace and barely hear Rumple's words. It isn't until he leans closer to me and narrows his eyes that I realize he's so close. Ah, now Sleeping Beauty is truly awake. And here I was hoping I would have an excuse to plant a kiss on your lips, my sweet princess. She's like, what the fuck? You and Karma, this is why you don't get along, because you are like two sides of the same motherfucking coin. Not a single reaction today. Not a slight blush, not a slap, not... Are you still sick? Must I perform another examination? Examination? Yes. By looking closely at your face, into your eyes, touching your body. Whoa, doctor, back up. How are you a doctor, Rumple? Rumple stares at me with surprise. I'm not sure where the question came from, just that it was hovering in my mind. What? Princess, you wound me. Look, I've not seen you do anything different from Anise. But my prescriptions! Even the people in the shops could tell us what medicines to buy. Fine. I'll show you.
Rumple's expression slips into something shockingly solemn. He looks at me gravely and extends a hand. Spacey, you got yourself into trouble. How are you a doctor? I'll show you. I'll go play doctor. I'll go be a doctor. Come to my room. If you would be so kind as to come up to my room. Does going up to your room have anything to do with work? Delora appears before me again, this time without the snide smile. She raises an eyebrow. I don't think either of your shifts are over. She looks at me first. Also, I meant for the lullaby to inspire you, not scare you, princess. For a few moments she looks concerned, which startles me. The lullaby is certainly associated with a terrible memory, but the weight of that memory is dissipated over time, as has my anger at Delora. It's still there, but holding on to that anger does me no good. I sigh and shake my head. You have a terrible voice. Ah, there's the princess we all know and love. She crosses her arms. Anyway, you don't want me to sing you into action again, do you? Come to my room later then, princess. I'll show you proof. Proof? That I'm a capable doctor. Rumple walks off, leaving me with Delora, who looks at me skeptically for a few moments. She's like, that is exactly what I'm thinking. Something on your mind, princess. There were so many conversations I heard earlier, so many questions that I have. While I don't want to speak to Delora, I may as well ask her about something she might know. I overheard rumors about the palace. Did you now? We still haven't confirmed those rumors yet. Look, princess, I know it's not in your nature to trust people, but trust Parfait and me at least. We'll let you know if something is up. I'm ushered back to work, where I spend the next few hours searching for more information. Unfortunately, everything I hear is just speculation. Whoa, it just skipped really fast. I don't know. Good work today, Spacey. Has Rumple left already? I think he went up to his room earlier. Thank you. Anise looks at me curious. What? You and Rumple have grown a lot closer, haven't you? Hey, we're just gonna go play examination and doc. Damn it. Well, we are partners. But in the beginning, you didn't even want him as a partner. And now the two of you are friends? Friends? If Rumple considers me a friend, that should make me happy, but for some reason it makes me feel empty inside. Why? What else could we be besides friends? My cheeks feel warm as I try to think beyond the idea of just being friends with Rumple. I'm happy that the two of you get along. Anise, I need to go. I told him I would meet him for something tonight. Oh, okay. Sorry for holding you up. Anise scrambles off, leaving me by myself. I stand there for a few moments in an attempt to still my thoughts, and then I begin to make my way to Rumple's room. Rumple? The door swings open, and there stands Rumple. With a dramatic bow, he ushers me inside before closing the door behind him. I wasn't entirely certain you'd show up, princess. Normally when you go places with me, it's out of necessity. I only came to see this proof you insisted upon earlier. Proof that you're more than what you seem. Girl, you should never have gone into his room alone while he wants to play doctor. This could get real interesting real fast. It won't, because he's not a douche, but at the same time, there is that part that's just like, oh, Rumple, just throw me down on the bed or something. I don't know. I don't want to have to read that scene out loud. He places a hand on my back and guides me over to a chair. He requests that I sit, and I do. Here it is. My proof. You tried to read it while you were sick, too. Your journal? I've seen him writing this before, but I thought it was for his memories, not for doctor things. He barely even works on patients now. Rumple's persistence, oh my god, stokes my curiosity, and soon I find myself flipping through the pages of the book. This was the journal you had when the Marsh End found you on the streets. You said it was empty then. It was. I've been filling things in from my memory ever since I remembered my job. The book is filled with diagrams of the body, both inside and out. I have no idea what most of the words mean. What are all the smaller words here? Oh, Parts of the pancreas. Not very fun to talk about. There's the papilla, the pancreatic duct. Why is it necessary to use such big words for such simple things? For clarification, sometimes when you diagnose a problem, it isn't as simple as telling a person that their heart is weak. I continue flipping through it, with Rumple sometimes explaining things that are on the page. Please don't get into medical jargon. I can't handle it. Now, I do not ask for the descriptions. Scattered throughout the journal are journal entries about his life. When I get to the last entry, I spot my name and begin to read. But before I can even get to the next word after my name, Rumple has taken the journal from my hands. Sorry, my sweet, but a man's words are sometimes all he has. Insult them and you break him from the inside out. He thinks I'm going to insult his writing? But what did you think? Aren't you impressed with my sophistication, my breadth of knowledge, my intricacies? My intricacies. He drew some pictures and wrote fancy words by them. Princess. I can't help the little laugh that escapes my lips. Immediately after I hear it, I feel myself flushing as Rumple grins at me triumphantly. Your laughs are sweeter than honey, Princess. And because your voice is back and you're no longer sick, I can hear it in all of its fullness. He takes a step closer to me and reaches out to touch my cheek. I flinch in surprise, but do not draw away. The rapid beating of my heart is not altogether uncomfortable, even if it does confuse me. He pulls his hand away from my cheek, then flicks my forehead. What was that for? I wanted to see the way your eyes glimmered. You looked oddly vacant there for a few moments. I open my mouth to speak again, but Rumple surprises me by setting his finger on my lips. He inches closer to me, so close that I can feel his breath on my cheeks. Oh, yeah, so, that's gonna have to be in, like, the bingo thing. It's not the, when they take your hand and place it on their cheeks like you did earlier, or the finger on your lips, CGs. That's gonna count. That's gonna be, like, the same thing, unless we need extra spaces. I swear, that's gonna have to be part of this, like, that's good. That's another, just another thing. Because that happens a lot, those sieges. One or the other type of a CG. Sometimes it's both, but never usually with the same person that I can remember. But maybe, who knows, I don't know. Even when you don't speak, your eyes speak for you. You have beautiful eyes, you know. We're supposed to look away. There he goes again with his compliments. I should be used to them by now, but lately, whenever he compliments me, I can't stop myself from feeling flattered. When I look into his eyes, I can almost see my reflection in them. Without realizing, I look away from him, feeling my breath stop short before I can breathe out. Are you sick, Princess? You look a little flushed. Princess. He removes his finger. He does not, however, step back. I'm still aware of his lips so close to mine, and his eyes, which are still looking right at me. This feels a little different than your usual resistance. Could it be that you're embarrassed? He clears his throat, then starts speaking again. In any case, it's so nice to have you back, Princess. I missed you while you were sleeping day in and out. He missed me? But you have friends all over the Marsh End. Yes, but none of them are you. You're special. My heart plunges like a rock. I can feel it everywhere in my body, reverberating from a place that doesn't feel like my chest. He lowers his face so that the two of us are seeing eye to eye. I forget to breathe as his hands go to my shoulders. Ooh. Princess. Yes? I inhale sharply as I get a better look at Rumple's face. Up until now, I have not stopped to look too closely at his features, but now I can't stop my eyes from taking them in. Uh-huh. Whenever you're sick again, I'll be there to help you, because I am a doctor, even if you might not believe it. Oh, whoops. Okay, I skipped backwards, sorry. All you ever really need is a little vitamin me. I need a minute. Oh my god, Rumple, you stupid son of a bitch, I love you. Oh my god. I was wondering why his glasses were gonna get all fogged up. I'm like, huh? And like, but I was reading, and it like in the back of my mind, it was like, that's usually when he does something like really like overly dramatic or something, right? Vitamin me. Oh God, Rumple, we were having a nice, touching moment, and you fucking just ruined it.
Oh, I love it. I think I could just spend the next 10 minutes laughing at him. Oh, God. Okay, I loved Karma and I love Rumple. I'm not really sure who's my favorite. I think they're tied. Oh, God, they're both great. They're both pretty much like the same character. They're very similar characters. Oh, God, with their overdramaticness, and I love it. Oh, dear God, I love it. Vitamin. I can skip this if I see it again. I'm going to lose it. In one precious moment, every single bit of energy that had been between us vanishes. I stare blankly at Rumple as he smiles at me. No? I thought that one was actually good, too. Rumple pulls his hands away, defeated. I suddenly feel strangely upset. What was I expecting from him? What else could he have said? I know, right? You're like, there's a touching moment, and your hands are so close, and you're like, oh my God, is he actually... He's probably not going to kiss us, but it's going to get so close. And he's like, all you need is a little vitamin me. And you're like, and fuck. And you ruined it. Oh my God, though, I love it. It's great. Suddenly, I'm eager to look away from him. I look anywhere but at him, and eventually my eyes fall on a piece of paper. I recognize the name printed on the top, along with Rumple's signature and the response lying next to it. Rumple moves to stand in front of the desk once more. That's... You're still writing to Bria? I sent her a letter asking for my old journals. I'm convinced that's where the last of my memories are, but she refuses to give them to me. What a bitch. Should just go punch her. I glance at Bria's letter, my eyes scouring the words. I make a mental note of the address on the envelope. But don't worry, Princess. I'll figure it out. But for now... He reaches for me, but I duck out of the way of his hand. I have to do this now while the address is still fresh in my head. I just remembered there's something I need to do. But, Princess, I'll see you tomorrow. I pause at the doorway to glance at Rumple. I was just going to tell you I love you. And show you that I'm really going to be a doctor. Air quotes. We're going to play doctor. I'm not really going to be one, but... See you tomorrow, Princess. Sweet dreams. Good night, Rumple. Done. I seal the envelope over the letter I'd been writing since I woke up. And now to have it delivered. After I have the letter sent off with a messenger, I return to my work for the day. It starts first with Mr. Broom, then with the serving. She wrote a letter. I thought she was going to go there, break in, and steal the shit, because that's what I would have done. I look for Rumple, knowing that it's now his time off, and I'm surprised when I see him sitting not with other women, but with Karma. The two of them are laughing together? I guess that advice isn't too terrible. I give the best advice, darling. I'm a man of the heart. Perhaps not as much as I am, but I can give you credit when it's due. What are you two talking about? Princess! Well, hello there, Princess. Karma's mischievous smile confuses me. Even Rumple looks surprisingly shaken. You did not answer my question. We're talking about matters related to the heart. Of course you are. I took it upon myself to impart valuable advice to Rumple. You're giving Rumple advice, even though you two were always at each other's throats. Ha! Even the bitterest enemies can become beloved friends. All it takes is a shared interest. I have no idea what you're talking about. He's asking Karma for advice on how to woo us. It's adorable. But before I can say anything else, I'm swept up by Delora, who calls me back to work. The day goes on, and soon it's almost my break. I go to the front to see if the messenger has returned yet. Oh, Princess, there's a letter here for you. I did not expect a response. I open it up and stare down at the letter for a long time. Writing love letters to a secret lover, Princess? Rumple appears behind me, his smile unusually small. He looks almost hesitant to be standing there. It's not important. I stuff the letter into my pocket and continue working. For the rest of the day, I ignore Rumple. I don't want him asking about this letter, just in case things don't go according to plan. He's obviously disheartened by my ignoring him, and his sadness only persists in making me feel guilty. We're going to get the journals for him. We did a nice deed, and we're going to get our second piece.
This is not something he can know about. Otherwise, he'll try to stop me. Almost everyone has gone to their rooms, including a very saddened Rumple. The only people remaining are Anise and myself. Earlier, Waltz came in insisting that he speak to Delora and Parfait, and so the three of them are off talking in the other room. Curiosity gets the better of me, and soon I find myself sweeping closer to the door. I edge it open quietly with my foot so that I can see what is happening inside. I didn't think he was still alive.
This is very troubling.
He must have used a glamour. But the fact that I didn't realize it was him, that I... Is that the princess I spot peeping through the door? What? Huh? Sorry, what? I'm just sweeping. I try to hide, but all the eyes in the room catch me before I can do so. I'd be like, I'm just sweeping. Do you eavesdrop on people often, Spacey? We should not have pushed the door open. We should have just stood outside sweeping. You don't have to stare through the... You're standing in the open doorway. How do they see me? No, bitch, you hide behind the door. I had no real reason to eavesdrop on them beside my own curiosity.
It's no harm done, Delora. Spacey, are you almost done with your chores?
Ever since that conversation with Parfait and Delora, I've noticed that the words Parfait and I speak to each other are strained. Delora, however, is unchanged. I expect sarcasm from her now, but she doesn't deliver. She simply stands still and looks at me somberly. I am. What are you talking about? Hiding more things from me? We're talking about the rumors that have been going around about the palace. What have you heard? I have a right to know what's happening at the palace.
We would tell you if we knew for certain, Princess.
Walt sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. I know the timing doesn't seem right, but I really should show myself out. I have a show early morning tomorrow. He glances around at all of us. I'm going to excuse myself for the night. Good night, everyone. As he passes by me, he smiles. And you too, Princess. Once again, everyone is being secretive. Why the sour face, Princess? Are you worried about what happens to the people in the palace you cared nothing for?
Delora!
Okay, that was uncalled for. But really, though, there is something I've been meaning to tell you. Since you're here now, I might as well say it. Now, my God. I knew you for 1 year before I cursed you. I saw what your mother had done to you, and I knew I needed to undo the damage before your birthday. Why is she talking about this now? I called you cruel and wicked, when really I knew that the way you were was caused by the way your mother brought you up. And when we talked about Hildir the other day, I was unfair in what I said to you. We all have to face reality, but... Delora pauses, looking surprisingly solemn. She sighs, then continues. I always knew you had some good in you. I saw it in you when you spoke to your dolls. You have a good heart. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. Delora just complimented me. I'm supposed to say thank you. And that would be the nice thing to do anyway. Out of all people, I didn't expect Delora to compliment me. Not when she makes a point of always telling me the blunt truth. Thank you. There's no shock on Parfait and Delora's faces when they smile at me.
I'm beginning to think you and Delora are alike. You're both stubborn and have good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm.
Hey, Spacey and I are nothing alike. I feel lighter somehow. I don't know if I've forgiven Delora just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see many things I wouldn't have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I am still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, what's this? My lovely little princess is here with you too?
Ah, Rumple, you're early tonight.
Surprised to see me beautiful. Rumple's earlier anxiety is gone. He looks at me with unbridled enthusiasm. I heard the princess thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful when leaving her mouth. So you were also eavesdropping. You two are very alike. Not at all. Rumple leans towards me and smiles. My dream is to one day hear those words from you too, because you say them as gentle as the wind. If you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, then I'm out. Spacey, you should leave too. Well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens. I quickly finished my chores and returned to my room, where I lay on my bed contemplating tomorrow. I can't believe Bria wrote back to me. Tomorrow I'll meet with her and hopefully she'll agree to give me his journals. I hope this works. For Rumple's sake. Hmm. Today I'm outside by myself. I think if Parfait or Delora knew, they would do worse than scold me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit at the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her at. A part of me is already convinced that she'll not come. When I wrote her that letter asking for Rumple's journals and she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have. The only chance you'll have at what? Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether unpleased, but still not smiling. Nothing. I don't like her, but I'll have to play nice if I want to get Rumple's journals back. Thank you for meeting me out here. Bria takes a seat in front of me, her expression still flat. You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak to Rumple, and then you told me you wanted to meet with me to find out why. You want the journals too, don't you? She reaches into a bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumple's. So she does have them. I know in your eyes I must seem the villain, but I'm not the only one at fault in this relationship. Years ago when I met Rumple, he was as he is now. Flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still made my heart sore. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumple is far from it. I pined after him for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumple always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets, and in exchange I would sew him some articles of clothing. I can see he's still wearing the scarf that I made him. That scarf was from Bria? We fell in love. Rumple became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor, and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but... Her expression falls again as she looks absently down at the table. We saw in each other ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth, I only ever knew the very surface of Rumple. The surface? I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then, as time went on, I also saw what that meant. The world is a place where only the strong survive. People are kind, but they'll take advantage of those who are too caring. She's like, girl, you're speaking my language. Be like, that I get. Those sound like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. It is a realistic way of looking at the world, but it's also so dismal and cloudy that it's impossible to see any light within it. Rumple helped a lot of people. Many of them were wonderful people, and I was always happy to see him do so much. But then, he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty. I look at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury, of so much money. I then recall the feeling of living poor in the streets and flinch. We had a house and we had a reputation, but Rumple refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also dried out our wallets. And whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile as if that could just get rid of all of our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor for minimal money, sometimes for free. And it's like, okay, I kind of see her point. Like, dude, we have to pay our fucking bills. You can't just treat everyone for free. We got bills to pay. So you just cheap services, like, right? Some people who can't afford to pay a lot. You know what I mean? I can understand. She's got a point. But at the same time, she's not like, you're not the right person for Rumple. Not saying we are either, because we're a fucking princess, but you know what I mean? Like, you want money more than anything. So yeah, oh, he's a doctor. But he's one of those doctors that are like, yeah, I'm totally going to live in a tent in the middle of some foreign like some country somewhere in the backwoods and like help the people for nothing. Like those like noble people, but that's not going to do good when you're like, but bitch, I need my shoe collection and my purses. Like you're not going to marry that kind of doctor. Like let's just face it. You're not. Like you know what I mean? So it's like, honey, you're looking for the wrong kind of doctor. You're probably right to go run off with some other guy. But don't try to get Rumple back. Just let him go on his own, okay? And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. And that's just the type of person he is. So you either find that charming and are totally okay with it, or it bothers you and you need to find someone who will put you first on occasion. Which you would hope would be anybody, but maybe he just didn't really love you that much. And you obviously didn't really love him that much. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but move on, Bria. He was so selfless that he became selfish. And I told him before that he should have accepted money, that he needed it. So selfless, he became selfish. I had to go behind his back and find payment. What I was making wasn't enough. So I went to find his patients and tried to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation? Rumple put his patients before Bria. I was convinced he didn't love me, and my love dwindled for him. Our relationship became strained. Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumple's patients, and when she went to ask him for the money he had originally offered, the two of them became intimate. But it was short-lived, and when the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with a soured reputation. I wanted to make it up to Rumple. I thought I could salvage this relationship, maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that is not my place. She sighs deeply and then gestures at me. I share in all of this too. I share blame in all of this too, but so does Rumple. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with, because you're his partner, right? Bria hands me the bag of journals. Don't look so surprised. You came here for these, not to listen to me. I thought on it last night, and I have no reason to keep them around when they'll just continue making me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's easier to keep to yourself than to trust others. She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out to grab her hand. Bria, I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It's so much easier to close the world off. It's so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be a balance. That's what Rumple has taught me. And I want to teach him how to have balance too. You? You're falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him. Oh, you fell in love with him even though you told yourself he was shallow and unrealistic. My heart thumps once loudly in my chest. Love? I can read it right off your face. I know how it feels too, but don't get wrapped up in an ideal, little girl. That's my warning. If you can help him, actually help him, then you're meant to be together. If you can help him, actually help him, then you're meant to be together. But otherwise, trusting Rumple might only break your heart. I'm not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. My words trail off as I look at her helplessly. Bria surprises me by speaking up quietly. Thank you for listening to me. She pulls her hand away and slowly smiles at me. It's the first honest smile I've seen on her face. I still think she's a bitch, but I feel something warm at my chest, and then a bright light emanates from my necklace. A good deed? For listening to Bria, or... I glance down at the bag of journals, then at my necklace. Yay! I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. I have 2 good deeds now. Only one more and I can break my curse. Magic. Is this another fairy tale curse? Yes. Your name was Spacey, wasn't it? Rumple talked about you fondly. I hope that the both of you break your curses. Good luck. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in the town square. My mind swirls with everything she just told me. I still can't bring myself to like Bria, but I feel more closure now. But now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumple? The more I say it, the more it becomes a certainty, but rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. I can't think about this now. I turn on my heels to head back and bump promptly into a man. Oh, Varg! Oh, sorry, madame. He smiles at me and then keeps walking. I stare after him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. With the mask and cloak, the man reminded me of a performer. I make my way back to the Marsh End with the bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering. Every time I think about Rumple being so close to me, or his kindness toward me, I feel jittery inside. Despite everything that Bria said, I can't stop these feelings. Here's the thing, though. You're going to break your curse, you're going to become the crown princess, and eventually the queen, probably. And, doesn't matter if your boyfriend's like a poor doctor who treats people for freebies, because you are the fucking queen. That's all I'm saying. Bitch, it's okay. It's not like, well, I mean, he's nice and he treats people for free, but then we're literally going to be broke living in the gutter, and then who's going to take care of us? Because his feelings are annoying. I don't know if I read that. Yet even as I think that, I know it's not the full truth. Do I really... I hear the Marsh End's door opening, and out steps Waltz. The minute he sees me, his eyes widens as he runs toward me. Princess, where were you? I was running an errand. I held up the bag, but it does little to ease Waltz's frustration. We were all looking for you, and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumple already went out into town. What? I'll go... Please, Princess, stay inside. His expression softens somewhat until all I can see on his face is worry. I'll go get Rumple. My mood feels completely dashed as I enter the Marsh End to whispers, both relieved and disappointed. Ha! Disappointed, like, oh, damn it. Everyone's like, oh, thank God she's safe. Fuck! Surprisingly, I get away with just a lecture from Delora and Parfait. It seems as if there's something else on their mind, something that most likely involves the rumors circulating around town. I wait downstairs for a long time for Rumple, but neither him nor Waltz appears. Where are they? Up here. I retire to my room later as I wait for news. Waltz eventually returns, saying that Rumple is still out because he had things he wanted to do. I have no idea what that means, but it unsettles me. Should I go find him? Leave the room. That's what we're supposed to do. I stand and stop for a few moments to look at the bag of journals beside my bed. And here I was looking forward to giving these journals to him. I make my way toward the door, turn the knob, and then walk outside. Princess! Before I can even think about saying anything, I feel his warmth envelop me and I freeze. One of his hands moves to the small of my back where it remains as he smiles down at me. Oh, hi. I caught you just in time, my feisty sweet. Did you plan on escaping into the dead of night again? Have words abandoned you in the wake of my dramatic appearance? A little bit, yeah. I hurriedly pry myself away with a little gasp. A few steps back, I can see him in full, and I notice the bouquet he carries. I'm glad to see you back, Princess. I'm only sorry that I couldn't make it back here any faster. I had a few errands of my own to run in town. Rumple holds out the bouquet with a glittering smile. That's adorable. Like buying these flowers for the girl that I really like, for instance. I stare down at the beautiful bouquet made up of white lilies, but the appearance slowly leaves my mind as I think of what Rumple just said. He bought them for a girl he likes, not for me. My heart feels as if it might be pierced through with something sharp. My breath escapes my throat, but I can't bring myself to inhale again. Oh my God. It's kind of like when Karma's like, whatever. What? You left your thing in my room. And she's like, I bought that for you, stupid. And he's like, what? Now we're being the Karma. And he's like, I bought these for the girl I really like. And she's like, wow, she's really going to love them. Talking about you, stupid. I would be the same way. I bought these for the girl I'm madly in love with. Why are you showing them to me and ripping my heart out? Wait, are you giving them to me or someone? I don't know how this is going out. Because men are dumb and they'd be like, look at this beautiful thing that I bought for the girl I'm in love with. And you'd be like, you're showing it to me. Are you, meh? Like, I don't know. Rumple looks at me in alarm. Spacey. I nudge him out of the way and walk past him. I make my way to the reception area where I collapse onto one of the couches and sit, staring blankly at the walls. The feelings inside of me are too much all at once. I tell myself they don't make any sense, and the way I reacted to what Rumple said was pitiful. And yet I still can't stop myself from feeling small. I sink into the couch and close my eyes, willing away the sound of my rapidly beating heart and the tears stinging the edge of my eyes. I'm not weak. I will not cry. Mother told me... But the thought of Mother makes the tears worse, and soon I'm sinking even further into the couch, trying to hide my tear-stained face in my hands. Mother... Bria... They both said the same things. They both see the bad in people, and I too have seen the bad in them. When I was on the streets, no one in Angeal showed me kindness. People will never show you kindness unless there's something in it for them. They'll never... I feel sudden warmth as arms wrap around me. I recognize the sensation, the warmth, the comfort. It's all so comforting, so soothing. No. I was like, it could be somebody else coming to hug us, but I'm like, I really hope it's Rumple, and it totally is. I must be the worst person in the world. To make such a beautiful lady cry is a sin that I must atone for. My body stiffens, but I do not pull away. I listen to the sound of his heartbeat against my ear, and slowly but surely my crying dies away. My eyes are sore by the time I finally manage to still the tears. He's like, do you really hate white lilies that much? I mean, Jesus. And she's like, what? I Can't wait. I love the misunderstandings. I feel drowsiness descend upon me like a blanket, but I will not fall asleep. A blanket. A blanket. Learn to read, Spacey. Slowly, I pry myself from the arms holding me. Hello, my love. I messed up again, didn't I? I do not see the bouquet in his hands, but a journal. One of the journals I brought back for him from Bria. You're capable of a lot more good than I am, Princess. Just look at this. He reaches out and touches my necklace. I glance down at it. You got my journals back for me. I saw them in your room. And I feel it. That this one, the most recently dated one, is the one that I need to unlock my final memory. I grasp the second incomplete glass slip around my neck and breathe out softly. And this really is from retrieving Rumple's journals for him. I got a good deed for finally doing something good for Rumple. Would you allow me to read it with you? He reaches out to gently brush a tear from my face. Oh, and gently brushes a tear, whatever. You did all of this for me, and you barely know anything about me. That makes both of us. If you wouldn't mind, I want to read out this entry for you. I nod, even though I should be shaking my head. Even though I should still be hurt, I can't stay mad at Rumple. Interesting. So everything was stolen by the witch, but he wrote it down enough to, anyway. On this night I am a poor man. Everything that is precious to me has been stolen away by the witch. Rumple's voice catches in his throat as he stares at the words. I look over his shoulder at the journal. Witch? Was he already cursed when he wrote this? But I have no one to blame but myself. Bria told me before that I would suffer for my selflessness, and so now I find myself here. And now, because of that same selflessness, Bria is sick, and I cannot save her. There's only one thing left to do. I've wronged Bria in so many ways, and now I'll give anything it takes to save her. Oh. No matter what price the witch asks, I'll pay it. I only hope that Bria can forgive me before she leaves. I'll write again when the witch has left. I swear that after today I will change for good. I will not ask the witch to perform any more miracles. Rumple's finger goes to the page where he softly touches a single word. His name. His eyes have the glazed look in the... I don't know what his name is. It's going to freak him out. I don't want to know. I keep calling him Rumple. His eyes have the glazed look in them that they have before, and I can tell his memories are snapping back together. For tonight, good night, and may tomorrow be a better morning. I read the last word. A name and a signature. Rumple reads it aloud slowly. Oh my god. I can't pronounce that. It's French. I know Dumont, but is it Chevalier? Is that really because I would that's how I would think to pronounce it, like French wise. We're gonna go with that. But Jesus! Your name is Chevalier? Like, that's a little fancy. Karma. Claude. He looks up at me, whatever his long ass name was. Claude. Something with an A. The longest name in history. And then Rumple is the most impossible one to pronounce. Oh, aside from Fitzgerald. That's not impossible to pronounce, it's just weird. It's Fitzgerald. That's usually like a last name, but like Fitzgerald. Damn it, game. He looks up at me, his eyes forlorn, and then, with sadness, he speaks. That's right. So weird. But he's always been Rumple. Call him Chevy. That sounds like an American redneck name. We can't do that to you. Or a dog's name. It's so strange. It's just a different name, and yet it seems to change him completely. I remember everything now. I was given the Rumpelstiltskin curse because I had sacrificed too much. First it was the boy, the one we saw in the market. I struck a deal with a woman to save him. A witch. He mentioned striking a deal with a woman, but a witch? I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor. Is something wrong? That name just sounds familiar. I told you. The Witch Doctor. It's no wonder I recognized the name. But yes, it was her. She promised she could heal the boy, but for a price. I had to give her a family heirloom, my family's stethoscope. Next was a nobleman. I couldn't help him, and so he lay in his bed dying. The witch visited again, and I gave her what she asked for. What did you give her? My engagement ring. Oh. But why was he wearing one? Not Bria's. I gave Bria's engagement ring to. Bria found out. She told me she'd never forgive me. And then she chased the nobleman to ask for the money we desperately needed, and... Well, you know the rest. He gave away things that were precious to him, all to help those people. Then Bria got sick. I made one last deal with the witch because I was desperate to save her life. But do you think Bria would have read that and known this is why he was cursed? But maybe she didn't read all of his journals. I don't know. But it wasn't until after she healed Bria that she told me what she wanted. She wanted your memories. I don't remember what happened exactly. I think I panicked because I suddenly lost my memories. I ran out into the alleys, bumped my head on something, fell unconscious. And then I woke up here in the tavern. I had no idea who I was or how I had gotten cursed. Rumple, Chevalier's expression grows more somber. It's really fucking weird changing his name in the middle of it. Like, I know this is what we did with Karma too, but he'll always be Rumple to me. I deserved to be cursed after everything I had done. I was so selfish. An idealist, maybe, but I hurt Bria because I refused to see reality. I still deserve to be cursed, actually. But why? Because I'm still selfish. Even having remembered everything that made me a bad person, I still desire something. Someone I shouldn't have. My heart plummets again as he looks at me. Aww, this is so cute. I'm gonna cry. I still want, so badly, to forge a future with someone I don't deserve. Because what am I other than a poor doctor? I'm no knight in shining armor, and I'm no prince. He puts a hand on my cheek and leans closer to me. The distance between us closes in mere seconds. Oh, sweet Jesus. But still, I keep on dreaming, because His fingers gently caress my cheek, and suddenly, I know. I know what he's going to say before he even says it. He's going to say, I love you. But I'm not. Yeah, so that we actually said that to him. I'm sure we said it out loud. It's weird when you do that, because then sometimes she'll say it later on, and sometimes she doesn't. Like, I don't know. Whether you're Rumple or Chevalier, it's such the weirdest thing to call. Rumple Chevalier. Sounds like a fancy fucking like champagne or like wine or something. You're the same person. You don't need to be a knight or a prince. He accepted me for who I was, and he still does. Mother told me that humans were untrustworthy, but Chevalier smiles at me as he puts his other hand on my back and pulls me closer. The smile is so genuine and so gentle. The same smile I've grown to love. I'd be like, besides, oh! Sorry. It's like took me by surprise. Oh! Oh, this game doesn't cockblock us, does it? No, it's beautiful. I love it. Anyway. Oh yeah. Besides, we might never break our curse, so he'll be a poor doctor and we'll be a has been princess forever. I mean, obviously we're gonna break our curse, but still, I'm just saying. Just saying. We might not. There's a possibility, so anyway. Whatever words I have been meaning to say die in my throat as he leans forward and gently places his lips on mine. I feel more grounded than I've ever felt before, but I also feel like I'm flying. I set my hands on his chest and flex my fingers into his shirt. He runs his fingers gently down my face, then down the length of my neck. The kiss feels too short, yet I'm still breathless when Chevalier pulls away from me. Rumple! We have to call him Rumple! It's weird! He's goddamn Rumple. Just enough so that I can see his eyes. Aww. I love you, my sweet princess. For your smile, for your laugh, for the way that you look out for other people. You're bold and feisty, and you remind me of a firework. No, stop singing Katy Perry songs. You were doing it too, you know it. I was doing it so in the back of my mind. You're a beautiful firework. And then it's in your head. Damn you! You're beautiful, inside and out. The compliment warms my heart in a way that makes me feel like it might be melting. He reaches behind him and holds out the bouquet from earlier. Oh, we're way over time, but we can't stop in the middle of the kissy scene. These are for you. You like lilies, don't you? I take the bouquet from him and bring it to my nose. These have always been my favorite flower. How did you know? Chevalier grins at me, and it's so similar to his previous smiles that I know he must not have changed. The first time I gave you that white chocolate flower, your eyes lit up. I figured out that Chevalier was perceptive before, but the bouquet in my hands feels all the more meaningful now. Princess, I swear that I want to try and change. For you. You should do it for yourself, too. Myself. You should spoil yourself more, too. You always give to others, but don't take for yourself. Now you know what you did, and you can change things. If Bria can, then so can I. Bria? I went and spoke to her when I was in town today, while I was getting the bouquet as a gift for you. We had a talk about moving on. I didn't understand it fully, and I don't think she did either, but we've both agreed that we should. So I'm going to change what I can, Princess. And I promise that I'm going to help you break your curse, just as you helped me break mine. All the good things I've done are for you. That's true. But you've done a lot of other good things too, even if they may not be big enough to count for your 3 good deeds. It just so happens that your curse is very picky. Good things. Even though I'm still curt and say more hurtful things than not? I figure the necklace at my neck and thought, maybe Chevalier is right. Maybe I have changed, and it is a good change. I sit close to Chevalier as the night goes on. It's so weird saying that instead of Rumple. It's just weird. He tells me a little bit about his past, and I tell him about mine. About Mother and the palace. The night is not one for advice, just listening. And I remember what Chevalier told me once, that listening can be just as meaningful as advice, that listening to others can help you understand them. And he was right. Perfect place. Okay, we're going to stop here. Boop, boop. We're going to stop here. We're going to wrap it up. We're in chapter 8. I think we just have, we have one more. We have a couple more choices in this chapter, so maybe half of this chapter, chapter 9, and then we have our endings. So yeah. We'll see what happens. I think this is like the 4th part, so I don't know. We might actually get more out of this path. We'll see what happens, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.